friends. Welcome to this week's edition of our Digging Deeper blog, where we are focused on all things raw, real, and genuine, totally unplugging and cutting to the core of exactly what it takes to create extraordinary success in an ordinary life. So, today we're going to talk about how to move from being overwhelmed to being empowered. How are we going to do this? Move from being overwhelmed to being empowered. The feeling of overwhelm is something that so many women experience today. Even high-achieving, goal-oriented, purpose-driven women, especially high-achieving, goal-oriented, purpose-driven women, can hit a wall of overwhelm that comes out of nowhere when we've got so much on our plate. There's so much we're trying to juggle. We don't know which way to turn. We don't know what to prioritize, what to do first. And what happens? We all know the saying that an overwhelmed mind does nothing. So how do we move from being overwhelmed to being empowered? Step number one is awareness. Simply becoming aware that I am in a state of overwhelm and recognizing it and calling it what it is. Secondly is understanding and internalizing the belief and the awareness that being overwhelmed is a choice. It really is. Being overwhelmed is a choice. Now, I may not be able to control the feeling of overwhelm, the wave of overwhelm when it first hits me. It's something that happens to everyone. But what I can do after I immediately recognize that I am in a phase of overwhelm, I know what it looks like, I've recognized it, I call it what it is, and I see that I am now exhibiting the patterns of behavior that come when I hit that wall of overwhelm, then I tap into step two. And it is understanding and internalizing the belief and the reality that being overwhelmed is a choice. I want to say it again. Being overwhelmed is a choice. This is one of my core life philosophies. So I can choose to either stay in this overwhelmed place where I'm paralyzed, I'm doing nothing, I'm self-sabotaging, I'm running in circles, I'm like running in, full speed in wet concrete where I'm just like my brain is on the fritz and I do absolutely nothing. And I stay there and I live in that space of like the Groundhog's Day again, and I do nothing because there's information overload or there's decision overload or whatever it is that is pushing me into this overwhelm, lack of resources, time, money, energy, all these things. And when we don't know what to do, we subconsciously slip into this space. But what we are going to do that's going to make us different is that we are going to purposefully, consciously, strategically pull ourselves out of this space. And the way that we do that, the way that we move from overwhelm to empowered is recognizing it, tapping into our core belief that I don't have to live here. I don't have to take up residence here. I can move out of this as quickly as I moved into it, and I can choose where I go from here, and I'm going to choose to go from overwhelmed to empowered. And the way that I do that is I get all that information that is just stuck in my head, and I get it onto paper. And I look at what are the things that are stopping me? What are the things that are blocking me? What are the things that are keeping me here in paralysis mode? And once I start writing those things down, then I can start to take action. Because you see, when I write them down and I start to look at them, I can move out of an emotional state of overwhelm and I can move into an objective state of solving the problems. Okay? So that's the next piece here. Once I get everything written down, I'm able to start assigning priorities. I'm able to start looking at, is all of this my reality right now, or am I making it bigger than it needs to be? Am I attaching more emotion to it than necessary? If I pull out some of the emotion, am I going to be able to act in a smarter, wiser, more efficient, effective way? What can I do from this point forward to make the best decision? And remember, not making a decision is making a decision. Not making a decision is a decision that we make out of overwhelm, right? And we stay stuck. But the time doesn't stop moving. The time keeps going with or without us. So as I start putting these things on paper, I can identify the challenges and I can start finding solutions. And I'm going to choose to make the best solution I can with the tools, the resources, and the information that I have right now. And one of my decisions might be that I need to get more information. You see, one of the things that high achievers know is that it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to have a lot going on. Yes, there might be a lot at stake here, but doing nothing is not going to help me in any way, form, or fashion. So what I'm going to be willing to do is I'm going to be willing to start ugly. I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to get better as I go. And as I gain more information and I collect more information and I analyze the data, I'm going to be able to make smarter, wiser decisions as I continue to move forward. But you see, choosing to be empowered is as much of a decision as choosing to be overwhelmed. They are just two very different vibrational frequencies of decision. Being empowered has me in charge of my outcome. Being overwhelmed has me a victim to my situation. Do you see the difference between the two? So it is an awareness and it is a choice. And then once I make that choice, then I'm very figuratively and literally pulling myself up by my bootstraps and saying, all right, today I've got to be my own hero. The cavalry's not on its way in. Nobody is going to come and rescue me from this situation. So I either need to face it or it's never going to get better. And as I do that, I understand it is a core muscle that I'm developing. And as I can develop this inner core muscle, it is a muscle, it is a life skill that is going to help me in every other area of my life. Can I change the situation right now? Maybe, maybe not. I can't go back. I can't undo it. I can't redo everything that's happened up till now. But you see, life is only 10% what happens to us. The other 90% is how we respond. So where I'm holding right now, I may not be able to do anything about it. But where I'm going to go from this point forward, I 100% can influence. And I'm only going to be able to influence it in a positive direction if I choose to be empowered instead of being overwhelmed. So it's all about awareness and living in that life philosophy that being overwhelmed is a choice. Being empowered is also a choice. And if I'm going to get the information out of my head, you see when it's living in my head, it's like boom, boom, boom. All these bombs are going off and I'm just like living in duck and cover mode. No, make it go away. And if I get all those mental bombs out of my head and onto the paper, then I can analyze the information, I can swipe away the emotion, I can deal with it in an objective way, and I can say, okay, if I were going to give advice to someone else about how to navigate through this situation, what would I say? What would I recommend? Because you see, when it's not us, when it's someone else, we can step out of the emotion. And that's what we have to learn to do with ourselves, is not ride the wave of the emotion every single time something happens in our life. We are emotional beings, and that's perfectly natural. It's perfectly normal. I'm not telling you to become a robot or a machine. But what I'm telling you is to choose to rise above the emotion and not play victim to the emotional roller coaster. So you can feel the situation, you can feel the reality of what's happening, you can be present to the moment, you can recognize what's happening, but then you can take a big breath and say, all right, girlfriend, what am I going to do about this? And that is all a part of moving out of overwhelm and into being empowered. And the more that you do this, you're going to be able to realize, wow, I'm actually shortening the drama curve in my life because I'm shortening the overwhelm phase and I'm moving out of overwhelm purposefully, strategically, and analytically over and over and over again. And I can promise you that this is something that will elevate every area of your life. Thanks for joining. Let me know your thoughts. I always love to hear your feedback. I love to hear your ideas and suggestions for future topics. And please, if you have girlfriends, high-achieving girlfriends that you know are ready to really make amazing things happen in their life, share this video, share this group, share our tribe. The more the merrier. Rising waters lift all boats. Love ya. See you next time.